Let's get something out of the way. I love House and Cuddy. The actors have chemistry to die for, and their attraction expanded organically over 5 years.
Everybody knows this is going somewhere.
Some doomsdayers and naysayers will point to their relationship as a nail in the show's coffin. And they're not wrong, per se, but it's complicated.
You know exactly how it would go. It'd start off exciting, we'd get caught up in the novelty and the hostility and the forbiddenness, and then we realize that the flirty hostility is just hostility, and his inability to open up is no longer exciting, it's just frustrating, and then it's the inevitable blow up and the recriminations, and we don't talk for 2 months.
I think Cuddy's description is exactly how it would be, and artistically how it should be. Their relationship was primarily built on sexual tension. All of that bickering was just foreplay for actual foreplay.
You two are just too nasty to each other not to have been nasty.
Hey, I can be a jerk to people I haven't slept with. I am that good.
And it's implied that they once had a chance encounter, or everyone seems to think they did.
You both went to Michigan. Did you know him while you were there?
I was still an undergrad, but yeah, I knew him. He was already a legend.
So you just knew him as a legend?
My God, you're subtle. Anything on your mind?
You gave me everything I asked for because one night I gave you everything.
Stop staring at my ass when you think I'm not looking. Showing up at restaurants where I happen to be on a date and fantasizing about me in the shower. That ship sailed long ago, House. Get over it.
If you're still referring to your ass, I think that supertanker sailed would be the more precise metaphor.
But despite how much they want to jump each other, they're smart enough to know that a relationship would end badly because they work together.
Emotionally mature people who work together should not date. Guaranteed breakup, guaranteed ugliness.
Any relationship that doesn't end in a breakup ends in death. Everything falls apart in the end. That's your worldview. The corollary, which you keep forgetting, is that you have to grab any chance for happiness.
And this moment means a lot to me. They're both emotional, which means they've forgotten the consequences long enough to indulge in something that feels good. Falling in love has always felt accidental to me. It's not something you can plan, but once it's there, how are you supposed to deal with it?
Well, what are you going to do?
What can I do? I'm going to ignore her for the rest of my life.
On a writing level, everything is still the same. The dynamic shifts, but not off of its axis. House still fights for diagnostic freedom.
Rule out CNS lymphoma first, then rule out astrocytoma, then rule out other brain tumors.
I hereby declare them ruled out.
And Cuddy still has final authority.
Yeah, I just had to explain to him that I had his balls and he's not getting them back. Excuse me. It seemed to me from the pilot episode that these were two people, House and Cuddy, that had chemistry with each other and complete incompatibility in some ways and absolute compatibility in other ways.
House's delusion that lands him in Mayfield is finally sleeping with Cuddy, but he didn't.
Plot twist.
No, that's not what happened. I told you that I needed you. You helped me.
Are you okay?
If Broken was the last episode, this would need some kind of closure. Cuddy could visit House at Mayfield and they could have a conversation about his delusions, how they feel about each other, and the future of the diagnostics department.
We flirted, we kissed, I fondled. I hallucinated a night with you and yelled it from a hospital balcony. You're not a narcissist.
So what am I?
Not the reason I'm leaving.
It's a little open-ended, but enough to imagine what happens after the show stops. Maybe there's a future with Cuddy, maybe it's just a bittersweet friendship. But if you haven't noticed a pattern by now, Season 6 rolls around. Some fans reject the House-Cuddy relationship because it distracts from the core premise, the medical mysteries. But I think that's a symptom of the structure change. There are plenty of innocuous subplots. House and Wilson living together, Taub's extramarital escapades, but the romance gets the brunt of criticism because it's the most apparent. That being said, this is where the writing starts to suffer.
I just want us to be friends.
Funny. That's the last thing I want us to be.
Season 6 is all about the friend zone.
She doesn't think you're reliable, and you will remain friend-zoned until that changes.
I can't convince her that I'd change my entire personality in a weekend.
After Mayfield, what are House and Cuddy supposed to do? Go back to normal or keep pursuing their attraction? Well, damn it, the writers have come this far. They have to keep going, otherwise it's going to be massive blue balls.
Oh! No. They're browning way too fast.
Blue's the color you gotta watch out for.
Enough!
If I were mapping out their relationship, there's nothing that's preventing them from dating. House is now sincere enough to admit that he wants to be with Cuddy, and she's been waiting for some kind of reliability, a sign that he's stable enough for a relationship. And to me, this new self-improvement, drug-free attitude should be the sign. So of course there has to be an obstacle.
Hey, House.
Hey, Lucas.
Cuddy has a long history of dating losers.
Yeah, we connected through singleballroomdancelovers.com.
Why would he volunteer that information?
At one point, Wilson was on that list.
I mean, it's not like either one of us has anybody to run home to.
No. Yes, I slept with her.
Seriously?
No.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Seriously?
No. You've got a problem, House.
You, on the other hand, have decades of experience dating and being attracted to losers. Obviously, I don't include myself.
In Season 5, for a couple of episodes, House hires Lucas, a private investigator. Apparently the showrunners wanted to make a spin-off with the character, but the idea fell through. Lucas is funny, but kind of goofy. He's sweet, but kind of creepy.
How'd you know I liked roses?
I was in your house last night. No, I'm kidding. Ha. Who the hell doesn't like roses?
And for a brief moment, it seems like Lucas and House are going to race for the chance to be with Cuddy.
We'll see who gets there first.
But then Lucas disappears and more important stuff happens. House and Cuddy kiss, Cuddy adopts Rachel, Foreman and 13 date, Kuttner kills himself, Cameron and Chase get married, and House has a breakdown and goes to a mental institution. So after all of that drama, it never occurred to me that this goofy sidekick would reappear, much less as Cuddy's boyfriend.
So you had some hallucination about having sex with her. But I mean, that was months ago, right? All the work that you had to do to get straight. You've been institutionalized. You've had way bigger stuff to deal with. I should shut up.
And I can't really argue with the logic. I understand why Cuddy likes Lucas, and I understand why she can't be with House. But this love triangle is so obviously there to block House and to extend the romantic tension.
Yeah, look, our relationship is going to be about House or it's going to be about us. I vote for it being about us.
Well, House is going to make it about him for us.
It's even worse on rewatch because you know House and Cuddy are going to get together, so it just feels like we're wasting time.
There is no us. There never will be.
I believed it. It was simple. It was pure. Did you believe it?
And it feels like Cuddy is wasting time on Lucas. It's supposed to. The writing is doing its best to smear his character as the inferior choice.
Well, that's the whole point.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was my leg sticking out? Oh, God. I must have grabbed Marina's cell by mistake.
Idiot.
But he's adorable. He's an adorable
That is
boob.
not adorable. That is annoying.
And come on, he's a premature ejaculator. They are broadcasting exactly how you should feel. Cuddy needs to drop this doofus and get with House.
I'm sorry. It's hard to pace yourself when you've been thinking about it for 10 hours straight.
That's great.
And here I can understand the criticism. When Lucas pranks House and Wilson for moving into the condo that he and Cuddy wanted, are we missing the point? When House throws away his therapy for unrequited love, are we missing the point?
Whatever the answer is, you don't have it.
When Cuddy announces that she's engaged in the middle of a crisis, are we missing the point?
It's not weird. There's no mystery. I'm just getting married.
At its worst, this romantic competition is dumb, tedious, contrived, frustrating, and distracting. But at its best... Hold on, I've got something in my eyes. In the season 6 finale, a crane collapses on a building, and House treats a woman trapped under the rubble.
Oh, my leg! Oh! Oh! Oh!
Okay.
He gets to know her and does everything he can to prevent cutting off her leg. And I'm sure you can see the significance.
Can I ask what's wrong with your leg?
Grain fell on it.
But is House holding out because it's medically justified, or because he's not objective, or because he's mad at Cuddy?
I'm moving on. Wilson is moving on. And you've got nothing, House. Nothing. I'm going down there, and I'm gonna convince her to let me cut her leg off. If you have any decency left, she'll stay out of it.
And eventually there's no other option to get her out.
Hannah, we have to amputate your leg.
No, you said that there was time.
There was, and it's run out.
After the amputation, it looks like they're out of the woods. They're able to take her to the hospital, but she clots in the ambulance and there's nothing they can do.
Come on, do something! Do something!
This wasn't your fault.
That's the point! I did everything right. She died anyway. Why the hell do you think that would make me feel any better?
House doesn't know how to handle pain, so he's about to go back to the one thing that makes it all go away. But on the cusp of relapsing, look who shows up.
I love you. I wish I didn't. But I can't help it.
After the ups and downs and the heartache, House and Cuddy finally get together. And it's gorgeous. But, like the decision to leave your fiancé in the middle of the night after a tragedy to hook up with a man seconds away from doing drugs, is it a good idea?
Don't do this. Why do you have to analyze things to death? Why can't you just let it be nice?
Well, it's all fun and games in the beginning. Season 7 kicks off with a bottle episode of House and Cuddy hanging out. They hook up and do a bunch of cute domestic stuff.
Yeah. I think I might have got that slightly wrong.
Past that, though, the reality catches up.
I think the challenge was, how do we keep them real and true to themselves, but be in a relationship together?
Can this relationship coexist with the formula? We know what the show and the characters are supposed to look like. House comes up with a kooky idea to save a patient. Let's take out half of this guy's brain. But the boss has to approve. They argue, but House convinces her with enough medical facts and charisma.
Look, let's say that I'm the left side of Patrick's brain. Quick-witted and charming and great-looking. You're the right side of his brain. You're useless, old, damaged.
And maybe he gets to grab her ass before authorizing a hemispherectomy. Now that they're dating, there's going to be a difference.
Nothing's changed.
You showed up for clinic hours voluntarily.
Fine. A little bit has changed.
House, everything's changed. You're sleeping together.
How is House supposed to advocate for his patient?
I sit around on my bureaucratic ass.
I was relaying your words.
I said well-formed. I said well-formed.
How is Cuddy supposed to shut him down?
We don't compromise one life for another.
Okay.
And there's a lot of mileage in figuring this thing out.
If we are painfully, brutally honest with each other, maybe we'll get lucky again.
You've got a big ass.
And look at that, House still gets to grab her ass. The beginning of season 7 coasts on all this energy. It's brimming with passion. But then, it's not. The excitement fades and fights crop up, leading us to the inevitable.
What the fuck?
You know, once they're together, then what do you do? Then what do these characters do? Are they really right for each other? Are they going to just, you know, ride off into the sunset? And is that an end to it? Well, no, it can't really be that way. House isn't designed that way, and Cuddy isn't designed that way.
All roads lead to the episode Bombshells. It starts with Cuddy possibly having cancer.
There's blood in my urine.
And it ends with House and Cuddy breaking up and House going back on Vicodin. Two very important, well, bombshells that shape the rest of the series. Every arc resolution, lack of resolution, you name it, can be traced back here. And to this day, I still haven't made up my mind about this episode. Take any part of it and I can say, wow, there's so much meaning behind that. But I can just as easily say, what the hell is this?
Bombshells was a departure in so many ways for us, not only stylistically, but in the idea of tackling so many big issues, the breakup, the Vicodin, her cancer scare, all of these different genres. We, generally speaking, take a more studied look at maybe one of those things. So this was a challenge because so many things happened.
I consider Bombshells to be a creativity overload. There are so many ideas that none of them land like they're supposed to. Plus, all of these important moments are sitting on top of a regular House episode.
Your records show you've lost some weight over the past year. Was that intentional?
Not really.
It's designed to draw you into a false sense of security, like nothing major is going to happen. But that trick only works once. Since I know the outcome, I don't see how a kid making pipe bombs is relevant to anything else, other than a vague connection to the title. Get it?
Yes!
The case is just sucking up time for the sake of pretending it's all going to be okay. Whereas in other episodes, even if I know the twist, it still feels like I'm experiencing the intention of the filmmakers.
House, do you think this is gonna work, or are you just stoned?
Both, apparently.
Take the mystery in House's head. House was in a bus crash, and somebody else was on the bus with him, but he can't remember who it was. He uses hypnosis, drugs, and sensory deprivation to dive into his own subconscious, and the clues can be obvious if you know the answer.
What's my necklace made of?
Amber.
But regardless of the answer, you can appreciate the steps House and the filmmakers take to get there.
It's not the first time we've told a story in a strange, unrealistic way, basically. Right. So I think we had a little bit more room to wiggle there.
Yeah.
Than we would have going
into it. And we filled that room with zombies.
With zombies. A lot of zombies.
Bombshells contains 5 genre-bending dreams. House has one, and the rest are Cuddy's, each representing a different fear. On their own, they're magical and full of interpretations. The sitcom is what happens to Rachel if Cuddy dies. Is House capable of being a good role model? The zombie fight speaks to House's instincts to save Cuddy without doing the emotional legwork.
No!
The 50s parody is an impossible fantasy.
This isn't possible. None of this is possible.
Girl can dream.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid shows that House will never be there for Cuddy when she needs him.
House!
And the musical is about, well, a lot.
As she submerges into the warm balm of anesthesia, she conjures up this musical vision of death, of House as death, of their relationship as a form of death.
And across her dreams, House keeps interacting with Candy, which makes her realize that he took Vicodin to get through this crisis.
Oh, and I moved your sleeping pills back in the medicine cabinet because I just worry. Rachel always calls them candy. So.
Intellectually, fascinating, and yet, emotionally, I feel like I'm being toyed with.
Talking about food made me hungry.
You have candy in my other dreams.
Whenever I think about bombshells, I think about the dreams first. The fact that I have to talk about them before getting into the actual breakup means they're distracting. I'll give you an example. Here's something you would never ever say during a breakup unless you had 4 very specific dreams with a reoccurring visual motif.
My subconscious was trying to tell me you could never get through this without drugs.
It strips away the reality. It's too calculated, too staged. It's damage control for the last 40 minutes. And I wish I could blame it all on the dreams, but it's not that simple.
Delivery for you, Mrs. House. Happy 29th birthday.
I'm not 29.
Let's tackle this backwards, just to emphasize the importance of cause and effect. Here's what needs to happen. House needs to go back on Vicodin, which was inevitable as long as the show existed after Broken. TV arcs go up or they go down, and since House had been drug-free and happy, it was time to come down.
House, it's okay. Almost all addicts relapse a few times.
In real life, the road to recovery is not a straight line. Sometimes addicts relapse for ordinary reasons that don't sound all that stressful. Not everything is a world-ending apocalypse. But from an audience perspective, that would be frustrating. House can't just take Vicodin because he misses it. We'd all shrug and say, well, what was the point? So something devastating has to happen.
Goodbye, House.
And a breakup is a great reason. House takes drugs to avoid pain, and breakups are definitely painful. He also takes drugs because he's bored. House loves cases because they keep his mind active.
16-year-old girl presenting with cardiogenic shock. No heart attacks.
And dating is another way to do that. When they get together, Cuddy is what keeps him from going back on Vicodin.
It's your choice if you want to go back on drugs.
Okay. Just so you know, I'm finding it hard to see the downside.
So when House relapses, the shots deliberately echo that scene. He wants Cuddy to be there, but she isn't. So why should House and Cuddy break up? Well, I've got a few easy answers. Number 1, he uses her toothbrush. Excuse me.
Why would you have to brush your teeth before you go to dinner?
You don't want to know. Yet.
2, he brags about going down on her once.
Given what I've just been doing, I thought you wouldn't want me going out to dinner without a good brush and a floss.
Hey, if you're not playing the game to win, don't even play at all.
Says he hasn't performed oral sex on anyone in over a year.
Selfish bastard.
If Cuddy wanted satisfaction, she should have stuck with Wilson.
'Cause sex with James is fantastic. Nobody works harder to give a woman what she wants.
Be not afraid. The forest nymphs have taught me how to please a woman.
That's not me. It's not. I mean, you can see it's not me.
We are veering wildly off track.
And ultimately, House is selfish.
I want you to care about more than just what you want. What you think. You need me, House. And you may even love me. But you don't care about me.
Personally, I would have preferred a subtle reason like this. House doesn't know how to commit, or House doesn't know how to be a father, or their relationship is affecting their job. Something a little more grounded. That's what kept him from being with Stacy.
We'll be happy for what? A few weeks, a few months. And then I'll see something insensitive, or I'll start ignoring you. And at first it'll be okay. It's just a house being house. And then at some point you will need something more. You'll need someone who can give you something I can't.
Seeing the mundane is really where a relationship lives. It's not in dark corners and dramatic moments. It's how you get through your everyday. How do you function with this person? Are they a good partner for you?
The problem is that leading up to Bombshells, in order to legitimize their relationship as something more than casual, House has already passed these long-term checkpoints. He cuts ties with hookers for Cuddy's peace of mind. He takes care of Rachel.
Juice!
And, although he's drunk, he admits he's willing to be a lesser doctor for her, which is House's highest compliment.
You have made me a worse doctor. And people are gonna die because of that. And you are totally worth it.
So their efforts to beef up the relationship for maximum emotional impact are also the obstacles preventing a more realistic breakup. So the reason has to be big, but not too big so that the audience feels like House gets what he deserves. We have to feel bad for him when he relapses. But Cuddy can't be a monster either because you don't want to blame her for his addiction. So what's bigger than their average problems but not big enough for the audience to resent either House or Cuddy for their breakup?
You took Vicodin. When you came to my hospital room that night, you were stoned.
And yeah, taking Vicodin fits. Couched inside of that are implications of betrayal and the inability to be present.
Being in a relationship with somebody means you're willing to take on their pain, because when something bad happens to them, it affects you, and that...
He's not willing to accept his own pain, really.
Right,
so
let alone hers.
Yeah.
Pain happens when you care. You can't love someone without making yourself open to their problems, their fears.
But wait, we're trying to get House on Vicodin. That's the ending, not the motivation. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? They can't show a scene where House takes Vicodin, Cuddy breaks up with him, and then House takes Vicodin, because that would rob the final relapse of its emotional ruin. So House secretly takes Vicodin off screen, and Cuddy figures it out later. And I'm two minds about this. If you've ever known someone with a habit, you're not there for the dramatic close-up. You have to find out after the fact. So the idea of House appearing in this mysterious state is powerful.
I should have been here. Sorry.
But at the same time, I feel robbed. This is not Cuddy MD balancing administration, motherhood, and her wacky boyfriend. This is House, and his relapse is a critical moment. and it's pushed to the background either to preserve a twist, which again only works once, or to manage the audience's blame. And we're not done. We figured out why House relapses the second time. We figured out why Cuddy breaks up with him. But why does House relapse the first time? Because Cuddy breaks up with him? No, now we're going in circles. So once again, we need something devastating enough for House to take Vicodin, but nothing big enough for either party to receive the blame. Cue the mysterious illness.
Imaging shows enhancing masses across multiple lobes of Cuddy's lungs. That's what kidney cancer looks like when it metastasizes. She's dead.
Whoa. I think I'm gonna cry.
I'm really not a fan of using illnesses as a vehicle for drama, but especially on a medical show.
Guess who doesn't have cancer?
It's a convenient way to force characters into tough spots, and House and Cuddy didn't need any extra prodding.
Ow! What is your problem?
You! You are my problem. You are the most selfish, self-centered son of a bitch on the face of the planet. And I'm sick of it. I'm just done.
So to recap, House and Cuddy can't break up for simple reasons because the writers work so hard to make them a legitimate couple. The drama kicks off with a cancer scare, which on a medical show is convenient. House relapses off screen, which undercuts a critical moment. Cuddy breaks up with him in a way that doesn't force the audience to hold either of them accountable. House permanently goes back on Vicodin to satisfy the broader needs of the show, which I didn't even want in the first place. And on top of all that, everything is interspersed with flashy dream sequences that minimize the final emotional impact.
Good thing I brought my axe cane.
I love the work that went into Bombshells. It's bold and avant-garde and memorable. But I resent this picture-perfect alignment. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything is pushing us in this direction, just to take us somewhere new. But stress can happen without a crisis. Breakups can happen without surprises. And relapses can happen without heartache. And that's just the breakup. There's so much aftermath. Here's the thing. By this point, the fans that prefer House the Icon have already given up. And the fans that prefer House the Human Being don't want to watch the downward spiral, either the concept itself or the execution. House self-destructs in elaborate, superficial ways. Vicodin, hookers, and wily antics.
Ahoy there, me hearties! Permission to come aboard!
Then House marries a Polish-Ukrainian woman named Dominika so she can get her green card.
Do you, Gregory House, take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife?
Yep.
I mean, what is this? It's like a one-off cartoon gag that's supposed to be reset by the next episode. But that's not how this works. House is legally married to this random woman for the rest of the series. Luckily, they actually deal with this in Season 8, but what were they thinking?
I can't.
Why not?
I never sleep with married women.
The writers clearly wanted to go somewhere serious, but they had to wait until the season finale, so they just filled the space with a lot of nonsense.
Right now, let's finally have our fight.
All we do is fight.
No, all you've done is pull pranks. Or have temper tantrums with Wilson. Never me. Marry mail-order prostitutes, make me go to your wedding.
Dominika is a licensed esthetician.
You cut open your own leg.
So all this was about you.
You don't think it was even related? House, we've never even had a conversation about our breakup. You are obviously still angry at me, and it's hurting both of us.
In the season finale, it looks like they can work on this friction. Maybe we can get back to some kind of stability. Okay, a little bit of context, but I'm not sure it's going to help. House and Cuddy are trying to patch things up over lunch. She wants him to bring back a brush that she left at his place, and she also admits that she's still single.
I haven't dated anyone since you.
In the meantime, her sister sets her up with a guy. House swings by Cuddy's to bring back the brush, and oh, why is there a guy here? She said she was single. House is consumed with jealousy and rage, and he whips around the block and drives through her dining room. And I have nothing coherent to say about this. It's like the craziest option in a choose-your-own-adventure game, except nothing resets. When I was 17, I loved it because it really captures what angst feels like, but at 25, I just don't get it. It's supposed to be too far, and his punishment is appropriate. But it sours anything to do with Cuddy. Even if this wasn't her last episode, their dynamic was damaged beyond repair.
Forget it. Treat your patient, don't treat your patient, come to the meeting, don't come to the meeting. I'm done playing your game.
And in the end, I think, what a waste. A wasted character, a wasted actress, and a wasted relationship.
Do you want to know how I feel?
I feel hurt.
Altogether, this love story reminds me of gambling. When you win big, but when you lose, it really hurts.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's gotta hurt.
What happened?
I just killed 2 birds with 1 string. Goodbye.
And I'll let you decide if it was worth it.
Forget your troubles, come on, get happy.
You better chase your cares away.
Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy.
Get ready for the judgment day.
The sun is shining, come on, get happy.